From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We've had some hazy conditions across mid-Michigan today thanks to some wildfire smoke in the area. That smoke will stick around through tomorrow, so will our air quality alert set to expire by end of day on Tuesday. Notice satellite and radar. Despite the haze, we're still relatively quiet across the area and relatively warm as well. 85 degrees our current temperature in St. John's and Owasso, falling down to 81 thus far in the city of Jackson. We stay dry and mostly clear overnight tonight. Temperatures falling down into the mid-60s. There's more smoke in the forecast for tomorrow, followed by the chance for rain. 6 News at 5:30 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5:30.
Right now at 5:30, an update in the case of a missing man in Livingston County. A body has been found. Plus, a warning tonight from health officials as ER visits from tick bites are at an all-time high. And hundreds of tarantulas found inside chocolate cake boxes at an airport in Germany. Those stories and a lot more, and all in the first 6 minutes. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start that clock. We have an update to a story we told you about last week. Tonight, the body of a missing man in Livingston County might have been found. Jerry Spalding was last seen on July 5th. His family says the 83-year-old had dementia and would sometimes go on walks. But last Wednesday, the search turned into a recovery operation. And last night, sheriff's officials say a body suspected to be Spalding was found in a wooded marsh, and the man had been stuck in mud up to his knees.
I say we believe to be Mr. Spalding because there are things that would lead us to believe based on clothing and boots and his walking stick. However, because of the condition of the body, we cannot say with certainty that it was or is in fact Mr. Spalding.
The body has been taken to the University of Michigan Health Sparrow Hospital for a medical exam. An investigation is underway tonight into the cause of a fire that killed 9 people and injured dozens more at an assisted living facility in Massachusetts. Fire officials say crews arrived at the Gabriel House assisted living home last night and found people hanging from windows waiting to be rescued.
When you pull up to a building, the first thing you see is the fire, but then you see the multiple people that are asking to be helped and begging to be helped out the windows. So that's where it complicates the scene and makes everything more difficult. So that is something that none of us want to ever pull up to. So, and unfortunately, like I said, that happened here last night.
Fire officials say one of the victims is in critical condition and 5 firefighters were hurt, but not seriously. The state fire marshal says about 70 people were living at the home before the fire. Wildfires continue to burn across parts of the United States, including in Utah. At this area near the border with Colorado, fire was sucked up into a swirling cloud, creating a so-called firenado. Fire officials say as of this afternoon, the Deer Creek fire burned more than 10,000 acres and was 0% contained.
Whoa! Oh no! Oh geez!
Yeah, so that was a paraglider hitting power lines in North Dakota last week. The person taking the video happened to catch the paraglider as he flew overhead. After that crash, first responders were called and got the pilot out of the water, and he was reportedly uninjured. The social media site X has issued an apology after Sesame Street character Elmo's X account got hacked. A spokesperson for the nonprofit Sesame Workshop says the unknown hacker posted anti-Semitic and racist posts to the account on Sunday, which contained Jewish slurs and comments about President Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. The company removed the posts shortly after they appeared. Today would have been President Gerald R. Ford's 112th birthday, and this morning a wreath-laying ceremony took place at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum in Grand Rapids. Susan Ford Bales, the daughter of Ford, welcomed attendees with stories and reflections on her deep connection with the city. The ceremony ended with a moment of silence and the playing of echo taps. 75 years after he died, the body of 18-year-old William Wheeler is on its way back home here to Michigan. The Hazel Park man was a U.S. Army soldier who died fighting in the Korean War. Today, the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency announced the identification. In 1953, Chinese officials turned Wheeler's body over to the United Nations, and in 2017, the then unknown soldier's remains were sent to the DPAA lab. Wheeler is expected to be buried in Troy later this year. In the Middle East today, the leaders of the Catholic and Greek Orthodox churches in the Holy Land condemned violence carried out by Israeli settlers on a Christian Palestinian village in the West Bank. In a rare joint visit to the area, patriarchs from the two churches said Israel's government is not responding to pleas for help from Palestinians in the West Bank. The church leaders also claimed settlers set fire to several homes last month and put up a sign reading, "There is no future for you here." Israel's military did not immediately respond to the allegations. Today in France, the country celebrated Bastille Day with a display of troops and military vehicles. It's a remembrance of the French Revolution and the storming of the Bastille Fortress in 1789. On Sunday, French President Emmanuel Macron pledged to double the military budget by 2027, 3 years earlier than originally planned, in response to the world's complex geopolitical movement. Well, new at 5:30, CDC data shows emergency room treatments for tick bites are at an all-time high. The jump in cases is mainly targeting the Northeast, with 229 tick bites for every 100,000 ER visits last month. And this is roughly a 37% increase in cases since last June. Insect repellents, closed-toed shoes, and wearing light colors are just a few recommendations to help keep ticks away. In Germany today, customs officials have now released photos from the seizure of about 1,500 young tarantulas found inside chocolate cake boxes. They were shipped to an airport in Cologne from Vietnam. Officials were tipped off by a, quote, noticeable smell. Many of the tarantulas died, and the survivors were turned over to animal welfare experts. The intended recipient is being criminally charged. The John Ball Zoo has opened a new animatronic exhibit called The Power of Pollinators. This exhibit is set to show appreciation for pollinating species, specifically butterflies. The zoo and Michigan State University even worked with rare species, hoping to avoid extinction. The exhibit will be open until November, with efforts to help these animals happening year-round. And rounding up the first 6 minutes of news, it was fun in the sun this weekend as three-legged dogs met up for the 16th annual Tripod Picnic. The picnic at Marina Green Park offered relaxation activities and prizes. One pet parent said owning a tripod dog is like having a four-legged dog, but with a spare leg missing. Around 90 dogs and owners attended the picnic, ending the weekend, of course, surrounded by wagging tails. There's no stopping them.
They're so cute.
I know.
And they hop there.
They figure out a way, you know.
They do, like you said, spare leg.
That's right, exactly.
Well, we got something else to talk about. Notice it was a little hazy across the area today. That sticks around for tomorrow, and it will continue to impact our air quality as well.